Reviewing NHL games of November 15th, 2018. It's my brother Clarence's birthday today. Happy birthday to you. I'm not singing, so you can forget about it. There's 9 games today. 9 games. Let's get to the board. Ottawa Senators beat the Detroit Red Wings 2-1. Ceci gets his 3rd of the year. Duchesne assists as well as Stone. In the second period, Detroit ties it up, makes it 1-1. Rasmussen gets his 4th goal of the season, assisted by Green and Daly. And then Ottawa takes the lead with a goal from Batherson, his 1st of the season on the power play, assisted by Duchesne, who gets his 2nd point of the night. In the 3rd period, there were no goals. This was a bit of a goalie duel. Obviously, Anderson for Ottawa saves 34-35. Howard saves 34-36. Ottawa goes 1 for 5 on the power play. And then Detroit goes 0 for 2. The Ottawa Senators are now 8-3 with 19 points on the season, about 500, just over 500 or so there, depending on how you count the overtime losses. And then Detroit is 8-2, a very similar record with 18 points. This looked like, even though it was a low-scoring game, it might have been fun to watch because both teams usually have a reputation of working hard. Next game, Columbus Blue Jackets blowout, sort of, the Florida Panthers 7-3, and that's with Luongo in net, and Columbus's backup was playing for this one, Korpisalo, because Bobrovsky came down with an illness, and Panarin was out of this game as well with I don't know if it's the same illness or not, but it was an illness. That's all I would tell you about it. First off, Florida gets on the board first. Bustad gets his 4th of the season, assisted by Matheson and Malgin or Malign. Then they go ahead 2-0. Ekblad gets his 2nd of the season on the power play, assisted by Hoffman and Matheson, who gets his 2nd point of the game. And then moving on to the second period, it's mostly all Columbus. They just come out of the gates roaring. Atkinson scores his 9th of the season, short-handed, assisted by Wenberg. They then tie up the game 2-2. Dubinsky gets the 2nd of the season, assisted by Werenski, and Wenberg, who gets his 2nd point of the night. And then they go ahead by a goal, make it 3-2. Dubois get the first lead of the game. Dubois gets his 9th of the season. He's looking good. He's rounding in the form. Assisted by Duclair and Atkinson. Atkinson gets another point, his 2nd point of the night there. And then Florida answers back. They tie the game. So we have a game here. Yandel gets his 4th of the season on the power play, assisted by Trocheck and Huberdeau. And then just Columbus for the rest of the night. Henny Kennan gets his 1st of the year, assisted by Dalpe and Savard. That's 4-3. There, and then Duclair makes it 5-3 with his 8th of the year. He's having a good year after not so well with Chicago last year and bottoming out with Phoenix in his last season there as well. If you remember, he played he played really well a couple seasons ago with Phoenix, and then he bottomed out the last couple years. So it's good to see him back. Anyways, that's the 2nd point of the game, assisted by Dubois and Nutivara. Dubois also gets another point in the game. And then they go ahead, do my math here, that's 4, 5, it's now 5, that was 5-0. Then it's 6-0, Anderson gets his 8th of the season, assisted by Jenner and Foligno. And then Jenner gets his 4th of the season to make it 7-3. His 2nd point of the night, assisted by Murray and Dubinsky. Dubinsky gets his 2nd point of the night as well. Columbus, all those goals, and they only had 1 power play. Wow. And they didn't score on it. And then Florida went 2 for 4 on their power play. A bit of a strange game. I didn't see any of it really, but Korpisalo had a decent game with 40-43 saved 43 shots. Luongo saved 30 of 36. Bit of an off game for him, huh? Or maybe he was left out to dry. In any case, Columbus is 11-6-2 with 24 points. Florida's now 7-6-3 with 17. Florida was starting to make a bit of a comeback there ever since Luongo came back from injury, and I believe that's his first loss since he's back from injury. Next game up, Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 4-3. I caught pieces of this game. This was a strange game because it had a lot of penalties, more than you see on the board here. On the board, I only have 10, but there was more like 16 because some of the penalties canceled each other out. But 2/3 of them were in the first period. It was ridiculous. In any case, Pittsburgh starts off the game. Hornqvist gets his, and both teams have a killer power play, or top 5 in the league in power play. Hornqvist gets his 6th of the season on the power play, assisted by Kessel and Letang, makes it 1-0. Then Pittsburgh makes it 2-0, also on the power play. Kessel gets his 2nd point of the game, his 9th goal of the season, assisted by Malkin and Hornqvist, who gets his 2nd point of the night. And then Tampa says, hello, we're in this game, right? Point, before the end of the first period, gets his 10th of the season on the power play, assisted by Johnson and Kucherov. Second period, it's 2-1 Pittsburgh, not for long. Tampa evens it out. Point gets his 2nd goal of the game, his 11th of the season on the power play, assisted by Stamkos and Kucherov. 2nd point of the night for him. Point, hat trick, ba-boom. And now Tampa is ahead. They're ahead 3-2. Assisted by Miller and Kucherov. Kucherov gets his 3rd assist on all of Point's goals, mind you. And then Pittsburgh evens it up. Hornqvist gets his 2nd goal of the night, his 7th of the season, assisted by Malkin, who gets his 2nd assist of the evening. And then Gord for Tampa has the go-ahead goal. Again, on the power play. Gord gets his 8th of the season, assisted by Sergachev and Killhorn. In the 3rd period, there's no goals, and barely any penalties either. I guess that's why there was no goals, because there were a lot of power play goals in this game. As you can imagine, Tampa went 4 for 6. Pittsburgh went 2 for 4 on the power play. Dominique made 28 of saves on 31 shots. Now, Vasilevskiy has a fractured left foot, I believe. And I pointed that out in the NHL News and Notes that I released, the video I released earlier today. I don't know how long he'll be out for. I'm wondering if I mentioned it, but I would imagine at least a month. Probably at least 6 weeks, maybe. Tampa's a high-scoring team, so if anyone can come out of it, they can. But Dominique in his past few games hasn't especially been good, but hey, he held a fort in this one. And then Murray, 22 of 26 saves. Is he going to find his game again? When? He hasn't found it since last year, really. Tampa is now 13-5-1 with 27 points. Pittsburgh 7-7-3 with 17. Pittsburgh's last in the East right now. Yeah. Further than Detroit, who's got 18. Yeah, further than Ottawa, who's got 19. Further than the New York Rangers, who I have it on... Do I have it on this board? Yeah, who've got 20. So, last in the East. Jim Rutherford, I don't think, is done doing trades. As you may remember, he traded Carl Hagelin to LA for Tanner Pearson, who had his first game for Pittsburgh on this night. And Crosby was also injured in this game as well. That's kind of notable, huh? In any case, next game, New Jersey Devils beat the Philadelphia Phillies 3-0. This was JVR's return. He blocked a shot on his and hit his knee. He was out with a knee injury for I want to say like 16 games. So it was the second game of the season against Colorado. Again, there's more info about that in my video earlier I released earlier on today. So, New Jersey, of course, starts off the scoring because they're the only ones who scored. Anderson gets his first of the season, assisted by Senny and Coleman. A lot of Andersons in the league. Andersons and Andersens. Second period, no scoring. So it's still 1-0 New Jersey. Third period, Palmieri scores his 11th of the season. So will this mean he's starting to pick it up again? Because he went on quite the tear at the beginning of the season. Assisted by Coleman, gets a second point of the night. And Zajac. Then Jersey puts it away with an empty net goal. Coleman gets his his third point of the night. His sixth goal of the season, assisted by Palmieri, who gets his second point of the night. Devils go 0-for-2 on the power play. Philly goes 0-for-4. I mean, it's JVR's first game back. You can't expect him to be right in there, but sitting in front of the net on the power play is his bread and butter. So hopefully that will start turning around for him quite soon. I mean, I don't remember him being injured in Toronto much over the past 6 seasons or so. Kincaid for Jersey, of course, had the shutout, made all 29 saves. Elliott was in net, who's been good recently, saved 23 of 25. Jersey's now 8-1 with 17 points, about 500. Okay. So they're tied for 17 points. 17 points? I want to go back to the Pittsburgh thing when I said they were dead last in the league, and okay, so we have a 3-way tie for last in the East between New Jersey, Florida, and Pittsburgh. Got 3-way tie for last. Wow. All right. In any case, Philly, I digress. Philly is 9-1 with 19 points. Wow. Philly's having a real roller coaster season. I'm sure you heard me say that every time Philly plays. Next game, New York Rangers lose 7-5 to the New York Islanders. Starting the scoring in this game. Now, it's mentionable in this one that Georgiev did come into the game at some point because it was a high-scoring game. I guess Lundqvist was pulled. Also, the New York Islanders were missing parts of their second and third lines for this game with injuries. In any case, let's get to the scoring. Rangers open it up first. Kreider on the power play gets his 9th of the season, assisted by Pioik. I like saying that name. And Zimbabjad. Then they go ahead 2-0. Cleason gets his first of the game, assisted by Howden. And then Islanders wake up. Beauvillier, remember that name, gets his second of the season, assisted by Hickey and Filppula. Filppula. Then they tie the game, still in the first period. Nelson gets his 9th of the season, assisted by Leddy and Eberle. Second period, Beauvillier gets his second of the game, his third of the season, assisted by Philippa, whose second point of the game as well, and Komarov, former Maple Leaf. So it's now 3-2, but New York Rangers tie it up. They're still alive, folks. Hayes gets his 4th of the season, shorthanded and unassisted. Then Islanders take the lead back. Beauvillier, boom, hat trick. 4th of the season on the power play, assisted by Boychuk and Barzal. And then they go ahead. I lost my train of thought here. Where are the goals? So it was tied here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it was tied 3-3. Then New York Rangers went ahead 4-3. Sorry, I'm doing math. 4-3, and then 5-3 for the Islanders. Lee scores his 6th of the season on the power play, assisted by Leddy, who gets the second point of the game, and Bailey. Third period, it's now 6-3. Komarov gets his 3rd of the season. Komarov, excuse me. I should know that. I'm a Leaf fan. Assisted by Philippa, and that gets a 2nd or 3rd point of the night. 3rd point, I want to say. Yeah, 3rd point of the night. And Beauvillier, who now has 4 points on the night. Then Rangers, say, hello, we're not dead yet. Kreider gets his 10th of the season, his second of the game on the power play, assisted by Pioik, second point of the game, and Georgiev, the goalie, who's now in net, the backup. And then Scheidel, I don't want to say Schittle, gets his second goal of the season, assisted by Nemstinikov and Shattenkirk. And at this point, I've lost count. It should be 6-5. Yeah, 6-5. And then Clutterbuck on the fourth line there gets the empty netter. His second of the season, assisted by Nelson, who gets his second point of the night. Yeah. Rangers go 2 for 4 on the power play. So do the Islanders. Georgiev made 5 of 6 saves in relief. And Greiss made 36 saves on 41 shots. The Rangers are now 9-8-2 with 20 points. Not bad for a team that was near the bottom of the league and people expected to be not long ago. The Islanders, also being a surprise team of the season, are now 10-6-2 with 22 points. Sorry, water burp. And yeah, that's it. That's all. Next game, Minnesota North Stars. Yeah, I just said the North Stars. Minnesota Wild beat the Vancouver Canucks 6-2. Vancouver's just had an awful road trip because they've lost, I think, 5 of 6 games on the road. So I'm sure they'll be very happy to be going home soon. Minnesota starts the scoring. Coyle gets on the board. His third of the season, assisted by Brodin and Koivu. Then Minnesota goes ahead 2-0. Koivu gets a second point of the game. His fourth goal of the year on the power play, unassisted. Second period, more from Minnesota. Niederreiter gets his second goal of the year on the power play, assisted by Koivu, who gets his third point of the night, and Dumba. It's now 3-0 Minnesota. I believe that was I want to say that goal, or maybe it was the second goal. I want to digress here, but I believe this goal Koivu scored unassisted was on a giveaway from the goalie, like a brutal one, straight up the middle, right to him, scored on an empty net. Anyways, back to 3-0 for Minnesota here. Then Vancouver makes it 3-1. Horvat gets his 10th of the season on the power play, assisted by Gaudette. And then Minnesota says, no, you don't. They go ahead 4-1. Stahl gets his 6th of the season, assisted by Granlund and Sutter. And then they go up 5-1. Still in the second period on a goal from Dumba, his 7th of the season, second point of the night, assisted by Brown and Fair. That looks like the fourth line there. And then so it's now 5-1. Zucker starting in the third period makes it 6-1 for Minnesota. Getting his 6th of the season, assisted by Stahl and Suter, both their second points of the night. Vancouver, just to show they have a pulse, makes it 6-2 on a goal from Granlund, his 4th of the season, assisted by Stetcher and Archibald. On the power plays, Minnesota goes 2 for 2. Vancouver goes 1 for 6. Got to look at that special teams, huh? And I haven't heard Pettersson's name in a while either, but I mean, he's still a rookie. Give him a break, right? You can't be Wayne Gretzky right off the bat, although he's being compared to him. Dubnyk made 25 of 27 saves for made 25 saves and 27 shots for Minnesota. Buckman, who was backing up Markstrom, because I believe Nielsen is out with an injury. Buckman makes 23 saves and 29 shots. I think that's his debut. In any case, Minnesota's now 12-5-2 with 26 points. They're near the top in the league. I believe they might be third in the league overall right now, or tied for third, maybe fourth. Vancouver's now 10-9-2 with 22 points. Still, for a team that no one thought would do really well at all, I know that they're falling a bit back down to earth. Maybe once they get home and they recharge, they'll turn it around. That's it for this board. I'm going to switch to the other board to do the last 3 games of the night. Welcome to the second board. Okay, Montreal Canadiens beat the Calgary Flames 3-2. This Price hasn't played in a couple games. Niemi's been playing those, but he came back. As you know, Price has had a real iffy, not so good year so far. He himself admits that it's all mental. So Julian wanted to rest him, give him a little break, and to refocus. And he won. And he got peppered in this game as well, so he earned it. So let's start off. Tatar from Montreal gets on the board first. From Montreal, gets his 8th of the season. He's looking good for Montreal. Assisted by Gallagher and Denault. And then second period, move on. Calgary comes out of the fog. Tkachuk gets his 8th of the season on the power play, assisted by Giordano and Lindholm. And then boom, Tkachuk scores again. Gets his 9th of the season, second goal of the night, assisted by Brody and Giordano, who also gets his second assist of the evening. And in third period, Montreal makes a bit of a comeback. By the way, I saw bits and pieces of this game. Drouin gets his 6th of the season from Shaw and Domi to tie the game. And then this last goal by Montreal to be the game winner was especially brutal. Smith. This was a shot from just past the blue line. He really should have had this one. I mean, it was a slap shot, but still. Lehkonen gets his 2nd goal of the season, assisted by Kotkaniemi and Juleson. Smith just can't win a game. I believe the last game, though, he lost, but he did play well for the most part. But, that's rough. Anyways, Montreal went 0-2 on the power play. Calgary went 1-1. Not a lot of penalties called in this game. Price made 43 of 45. Saved 43 of 45 shots. Smith 19 of 22. Not much work for him. Price really earned this win. In any case, I know Smith let in that last one, which was a stinker, but 45 shots, 43 saves. Montreal is now 10-6-3 with 23 points. Very respectable, again, for a team who's surprising everyone this year. Calgary, who everyone is sort of expecting to do better. Their team looks to be better. They're now 10-8-1 with 21 points. Not bad, but they should be doing better than this. I expected them to make the playoffs. Let's see if they can do it. Up next, Arizona Coyotes beat the Nashville Predators 2-1. Nashville, that's their 3rd loss in a row now. Yeah. All 1-goal games, mind you, and with both goalies, Rinne or Saros. Rinne was in net for this one. Kemper for Arizona. Ratnan. Yeah, their other goalie. Arizona's other goalie is still injured. Kemper has been about a bit of a roller coaster lately, but wow, he got pelted with 46 shots in this game. In any case, let's start off. Grabner gets his 5th of the season, shorthanded, assisted by Konatau. I say it like that because Arizona has more shorthanded goals than they do power play goals. And I'd like to see how many of those goals by Grabner especially are shorthanded, because I'm going to go out on a limb here because I don't know for sure and say probably most of them are shorthanded goals. That guy's fast. He's older. He's up there. I think he's over 30 now, but he's still got legs. He's like Patrick Marleau. So anyways, moving on to the second period. It's 1-0 Arizona, 2-0 Arizona. Demers gets his 1st of the season, assisted by Fisher and Ekman Larson. And then in the third period, Nashville wakes up from its slumber. Bonio gets his 1st of the season. Wow, okay. That's the 3rd-line center for Nashville, who's in his 2nd season now for Nashville. He came across from Pittsburgh a couple seasons ago. Anyways, assisted by Watson and Yossi. And on the power play, Arizona was 0-2, but they still get a shorthanded goal. Nashville 0-5 on the power play? They're really missing Arvidsson, huh? who's out now. I had him on the board in my earlier video. What was his injury? I'm trying to remember. Was it a hand injury, I think? And he's out for like 5-6 weeks. In any case, Arizona's now 9-8-1 with 19 points. And Nashville, third loss in a row. Wow, but still near the top. I want to say, I'm not sure if they're still in first. They still might be in first with 27 points. You can correct me in the comment section. If they're definitely in second if they're not in first. In any case, 13-5-1 with 27 points. Last game of the night. Started at 7:30 Pacific, so 10:30 Eastern. Toronto beats Toronto Maple Leafs. My favorite team beats the San Jose Sharks 5-3. I wasn't sure what was going to happen in this game. San Jose looked really good because they beat Nashville a couple nights ago. Was it 5-4 or something? San Jose went ahead 3-0 against Nashville. Nashville scored like four unanswered goals, made it 4-3. San Jose came back, scored 2 more. That's the same game in which Thornton scored his 400th goal of his career, and became part of that elite, 2 elite groups in terms of players who've gotten 400 goals and 1,000 assists. And then there's another group that includes playing 1,500 games, which he's a part of as well now, along with Marlowe, I believe. Yeah, along with Marlowe. Any case, Toronto opens the scoring. Tavares gets his 12th of the season. He's really picked up the slack ever since Matthews got hurt a couple weeks ago, assisted by Marner and Riley. Now, this isn't listed as a power play goal, but it was right at the end of the power play. So it's sort of a power play goal, but it's not listed as one technically. San Jose comes back, ties the game. LeBlanc gets his 3rd of the season, assisted by Carlson and Ryan. Obviously, I watched this game. This was a weird goal because it bounced. It kind of bounced behind the net, and Anderson thought it was going to go around the other side, and it didn't. And the San Jose player scored on an empty net goal. Never take your eye off the puck, Mr. Anderson. Another Anderson, or Sen. Anderson was a net for the Leafs. Jones was a net for the Sharks, by the way. In any case, so we're tied 1-1, still in the first. Next goal is by the Leafs to make it 2-1. Kapanen gets a 7th of the season. He's been playing. Kapanen was always a really fast skater, probably one of the fastest in the league, up there with McDavid and such. But he never had the hands to match it. Now he's finally finding the hands to match the speed, and he looks dangerous. He's assisted by Marlowe and Dermott. So it's now 2-1 Toronto. Little pause there. I also just remembered that I don't think Anderson has ever won in San Jose, or it's been a long time since he has, going back to his time playing for the Anaheim Ducks. So, the Leafs have never had much success in San Jose. I'm trying to remember the last time they won there. It's been a while. I want to say, back in the Owen Nolan years, that long. In any case, you can comment on and tell me about it in the comments section if you can pull up those stats. Next up, San Jose ties it again. Pavelski gets his 11th of the season on the power play, assisted by Burns and Carlson. Carlson's got 2 assists on the game. He hasn't scored yet, but he's the points are coming for him. The assists are there. Then San Jose goes ahead 3-2. Vlasic gets his 1st of the season on a really bad a defensive play by Hainsey. Very, very bad luck. I can't fault Anderson really on these last 2 goals here. And the first one was just, I told you, was just, bad luck. But Vlasic, assisted by Pavelski, gets a 2nd point of the night, and Mir. Second period, Leafs are all over San Jose for the most part. Levo, who plays on the 4th line, who's got decent hands, just hasn't been scoring. Gets his 2nd of the season. I think he scored his 1st not long ago. Assisted by Ennis and Gautier. That's all the 4th line right there. And they looked good all night long. Gautier took a bad penalty in the third period, but otherwise that whole line looked really good. Kapanen. So that makes it so Leafs even it up with Levo's goal. And Kapanen. Then Toronto takes the lead on Kapanen's shorthanded goal, his 8th of the season, and a beauty. Just back and forth, boom, top corner on Jones, assisted by Marner, who did all the work to cut off that pass on the power play and dish out to a Kapanen who saw the opportunity develop. So it's 4-3, and then third period, for the most part, again, Toronto dominated. They probably could have scored more goals than just one. Marner gets a beauty. Just kind of an in-out, in between the two circles, offensive circles, gets a 6th of the season, assisted by the goalie, Anderson, who just flipped it up in the air, and he just kind of picked it off. It was kind of an alley-oop pass. You should watch that on social media. It was pretty. And the Leafs win 5-3. Leafs go 0 for 3 on the power play, but I mentioned that first goal they scored was right at the tail end of it. San Jose goes 1 for 3 on the PP. Anderson saves 42 of 45. He looked great in this game. Jones, 29, saves 29 to 34. San Jose kind of left him out to dry. I think there's like 3-4 breakaways, maybe 5, maybe more on the game, and you can't expect them to stop them all. So I don't really blame Jones too much on any of those goals, really. Leafs are now 13-6-0 with 26 points. I want to say they're around 4th overall in the league right now. San Jose is 10-7-3 with 23 points. But Carlson's starting to come on now, and I think San Jose is slowly going to get more momentum. I have no doubt that they're going to find their game soon. That's all the games for tonight. Let's talk about tomorrow games very quickly. Boston versus Dallas. There's LA versus Chicago. St. Louis versus the St. Louis Blues versus the Vegas Golden Knights. The Buffalo Sabres versus the Winnipeg Jets. Washington Capitals versus the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado just beat Boston the other night, which was an interesting game of the top two lines in the league facing off each other, and Colorado won that game. So this could be the game of the night right here, because both teams also have a killer power play. But Washington might be without Oshie and Kuznetsov, their first-line center. So maybe Colorado takes advantage of that. And last game of the night, Toronto versus Anaheim. They're playing a back-to-back. I believe Sparks should be playing in that for Toronto. And although Anaheim's has been playing really poorly in the past while, Sparks for Toronto, their backup, hasn't exactly played well the last couple of games. He's still 2-1, but I'm not just giving this game to Toronto for sure. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. If you like this video, hit that like button. I'm so sorry it's so long. There's a lot of games on tonight. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. If you've been watching, just tap that subscribe button for me. Just tap it. Little Happy Gilmore reference there. And if you know any Hockey Geek friends, please don't feel shy about sharing. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon.